this, I don't know, this energy, I can't see it, right? But I feel it. Good morning, y'all. Just kind of hanging out in the sewing room. I have a few orders that I have to finalize. Kieran went down for his second nap pretty late, actually, so I'm kind of hoping that doesn't disturb his sleep tonight. He was up for a good while in the middle of the night last night, so he kind of got his naps later. Anyway, I said I really wanted to talk about the times that I felt my mom visited me after she passed away. I said that there were 2 times that I knew of for sure, but now I'm thinking there may have been 3, because the first one was in my dreams. And sometimes people say that their loved ones come to them in their dreams, and it kind of just like occurred to me that maybe that actually was also her visiting. And like I've said, I'm agnostic. I don't know what's out there. I don't know what... Basically, it's kind of like, if I can't see it, I don't know if it's there. You know what I mean? But this was like an unmistakable experience. It was kind of like what some of you were referring to, is like, you can't see the wind, but you can definitely feel it. It was one of those moments. So the night that my mother passed away, we went to bed, and the entire night, I hadn't even been thinking about this at all. So it struck me as like, like when I woke up, that night, I dreamt that I was in Europe with her. And we were visiting all of these places that we visited 25 years ago when I was 11 years old. I went to Europe, like toured Europe with my mom and my oldest brother, who was stationed there in the Air Force. And there were so many places that we revisited in my dream, like the Hofbrauhaus, and there was a particular castle that my mother always talked about wishing she could go back to, because at that point in our lives, she was unable to walk through the entire castle, and she wanted to get in a healthier place to where she could go back and walk through the whole castle to tour it, because she kind of missed out on it while the rest of us went through the whole castle. So that was my dream, us revisiting places that we had been in Europe, like the Notre Dame, the Mona Lisa at the Louvre. And it was just like, why would I dream that, you know? It wasn't even something that I was thinking about. But I was there with her, but it wasn't like her in the state that she was in most recently. She was younger and healthy, and like, she was still obviously like older than me, like my mom, but she was just in like perfect health. So that is what I believe was like the first visit of sorts. That one didn't feel quite as profound as the other 2, but it was definitely one of those things that kind of made me think, like, wow, that's totally random. Like, why would I dream that? The second one is probably the most profound visit that I experienced, and it was beautiful. Honestly, it's one of those things that really make you question, like, really, what is out there? You know, what is there, like, somewhere that we go after our physical shell passes on? You know what I mean? That it was one of those moments. I woke up really early, I think it was like 6, and I came down the stairs and I started heating up my coffee machine, and then I was heading over to the refrigerator to grab my creamer. And I was thinking about all the stuff that I had to get done that day, and, you know, really not thinking about my mom in that moment. And then I just suddenly was overwhelmed with this, like, trying to explain it, but I was facing the refrigerator, and then it was like behind me, like this big warmth, and all I can describe it as like this solid, like roundish, I don't know, oblong energy of warmth. And I turned, I didn't see anything, but in my mind's eye, like literally seeing it in my mind, not in front of me, I saw my mom, but she was like a younger, healthy version of herself, just for a split second. And then I felt this warmth, like this oblong shaped warmth wrap around me, like embracing me. And I just started bawling when I felt this warmth wrap around me, and I just felt this urge to wrap my arms around it. And I did. And my arms were weightless. My arms were weightless in the air. And as I'm embracing this I don't know, this energy, I can't see it, right? But I feel it. I say, I can't do this without you. And I didn't hear anything, but I felt just this overwhelming sense of calm, like this overwhelming, like everything's gonna be okay. And I carried that sense of overwhelming calmness and like completeness and just like warmth with me throughout the morning. And I felt that presence next to me while I was drinking my coffee that morning. And I honestly believe she visited that moment because that was our ritual together. We loved our morning coffee together. Like, when I lived back home with them, you know, in my teens, like that was our thing. We loved like getting in the car and going to Starbucks together. We loved our morning coffee together. And, you know, when we were miles and miles, thousands of miles apart, we would send each other pictures of our coffee, like our morning coffee, sort of like a virtual cheers. So I really felt like she wanted to have morning coffee with me, like the day after she died. So that was what I believe to be the second visitation. Maybe it was still, you know, a continuation of the dream visit or whatever, but it felt like two different visits to me. The third one was also, this is wild, okay? Sorry, my camera fell again. So, what was I saying? So, that evening, we had a conference call, my brothers and I had a conference call with our father, regarding like what we were gonna be doing with our mother's remains and everything, because she did not want a funeral. She just wanted to be cremated. She wanted to be put in an urn, and she wanted to kind of like stay at my house. And we were just discussing all of that stuff with our father, and he kind of said, you know, you guys can kind of do the shopping for the urn and everything, because I don't really know where to start with that. So he kind of delegated that task to us. My brother and sister-in-law wanted to get their own like smaller urn, and I got the larger urn that we're gonna keep at my place. I didn't check urns out that evening. However, that night I went to bed. Kieran kind of woke up around 3 in the morning, had something to eat. Excuse me. And then he kind of was just like playing in the middle of the night, and I thought like, well, I'll just like scroll through urns while he's sort of playing in his crib. And I looked at 2 or 3 websites. I remember like when I was searching for urns for Kaia, I just didn't like anything that I saw. You know, it was kind of the same thing looking for urns for my mom. It's just like every single urn that I saw, I was like, no, she wouldn't like that. That's not her. You know what I mean? And I think I was on my third website, and I'm going through it. I'm like finally seeing some like different urns because some of the places have the same stuff. And I see this urn, and immediately I hear the words, "that one," in my head. And I've never been that decisive when it comes to things. I'm always the type of person that's like, all right, that looks nice, but let me see if there's something better. You know, that I've always been that type of person. I'll get like 2 or 3 different things that I'm looking at and kind of deciding which one's the best one. And I was like, okay, all right, that one, but let me try to scroll down and see if there's better ones. And I'm starting to scroll down, and I keep hearing in my head, no, that one. Go back, that one. I'm like, okay. So I scroll back up and I'm looking at it. I'm like, it really is nice. Like, it was this beautiful porcelain one that was just like carved in a certain way that was, you know, like flowers and stuff. And it had this like 24 karat gold trim at the top. And I see it again, and I hear the words, that one, in my head. And I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm really drawn to this urn for some reason. And I clicked on it. Like, it blows my mind. It was a Lenox urn, like a Lenox porcelain urn. And my mother collected Lenox dishes. Like, you wouldn't believe how many Lenox dishes she has, like different sets. I really felt at that moment like her hand was guiding me to that urn, that specific urn. And I even Googled it. I was like, wow, I had no idea that Lenox made urns. So I Googled it, and I Googled it, and I couldn't find any other urn by Lenox. That was the one and only, it seemed like. But just looking at it, I felt like it was so her. And I looked at it next to a picture of her, and I just felt like, wow, yeah, I really feel like she would want this one. Like, maybe that one was totally a coincidence. Maybe that's, you know, maybe that one was confirmation bias, but it really felt like I was guided there. Because like I said, I'm never that decisive when I just see something while scrolling. I'm never like, oh, that's the one, you know? Like, trying to look for a splash pad or a pool floaty for my son is like days and days and days of searching, and I pull up like 10 different ones, and I, you know. But in the case of that urn, it was like, it was so decisive about it. And it felt like it came from someone else. It felt like it came from her. So those are the 3 times that I really felt like my mother visited me. There is potentially like a 4th time that I was thinking of, but it really honestly could totally just be a coincidence, and, you know, me just wanting it to be that. But I may as well just tell you the story anyway, because it's pretty cute. Yesterday was Mother's Day, and Kieran has been, he's already said his first words. He says, hi and yeah. But he doesn't really make many consonant sounds. He does mostly raspberries and a lot of screeching. You know, we call him the screecher creature for a reason, because I thought that for sure, just forever, he'd be blowing raspberries and screeching and not really babbling or making any consonant sounds. And Mother's Day was the first time that he said mama. Mom, 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 mom. And he's been doing it like all day yesterday, all day today. He's waking up from his nap. No more nap for you, huh? Because I can turn off the baby monitor. Anyway, those were the few times that I really felt visited, like I really felt her presence. And then, you know, maybe wishful thinking on the mama thing, but it really made me think of this video of her and my nephew, where she's kind of saying mama, mama, mama to him, and he starts saying mama for the first time to my mom. And she was, you know, taking video of it, and it really made me think of that. I'm like, was she in Kieran's ear? You know what I mean? Because I've been trying for months. To get him, like probably 4 months, to try to get him to say mama. And it always turns into raspberries or a screech. I might be taking a little bit of time off of like the usual vlogging stuff. It's been a month, you know. It's been a big month of hardship, and I think I just need to kind of decompress, kind of just sort everything out. Let us go through the grieving process, which, like I said, has been different after her, and I think largely in part to those aforementioned visits, because it brought me so much peace. Like, there's still definitely times where I want to text her and, you know, send her a video of him saying mama, or, you know what I mean? And it kind of still catches me off guard, understandably. But I definitely feel like an overwhelming sense of peace after everything. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, being part of our journey. Bye.